what you heard, don't care what you heard. I'm taking it all cause I want the world. Yeah, I want the world. Yeah, I want the world.
What is up, guys? It is another episode of my podcast Unleashed, and today I actually have a very special guest. And would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Melody, and I come from Facebook. No, I'm kidding. We've been good friends for a long time, actually. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this podcast. I've been wanting to talk about this topic for a long time.
Awesome. So, can you tell people a little bit about yourself? Because I remember you saying you were born in another country. Is that correct?
Yes, so I was born in Iran, and we escaped to America the legal way. Lived in different countries as refugees. Another refugee story, really. And yeah, I just made it to here. So I come from a very conservative country. Yeah, I'm a big nerd. I go by Melody 360 on everything when it comes to my Twitch, you name it. So I'm a big gamer and cosplayer.
Okay, cool. So, what did you want people to get out of this episode? Because today we're going to be talking about obviously sex work and OnlyFans, and I want to say the impact it may or may not have on the culture and society and dating, especially in general. Because I have noticed, because that's my thing. I like relationships, and I want to help people put together relationships as I'm doing a part of my book that I'm writing. So I have seen a massive change in the dynamic of dating, especially in our generation. It's just changed so much from our generation, from our grandparents' generation, even from our own parents' generation. So, what did you want people to get out of this episode?
The main thing is the freedom of someone's will, what they're allowed to do with their own body. They don't need to censor themselves. I agree. It has affected relationships nowadays. A lot of people see it as taboo, not okay to discuss certain things when it comes to sexuality and the female body. And it goes for males as well. But a lot of females are being looked down on for even showing a little bit of skin. I can even say this from a gamer perspective. A female can post a picture that she's streaming online playing Fortnite, and majority of the comments are going to be cover your boobs, just cover your tits, and instead of talking about the game, period. So less censoring ourselves. Back in the day, there was a lot of censorship. Females could hardly do anything, they could hardly even vote when it came to that. It was whatever the male wanted. We were right then and there, cooking, cleaning. But nowadays, it's come to a point where females are standing up for themselves and doing what they want, discussing their sexuality, discussing what they like in bed, using their body to make money essentially online, which they've been doing for centuries. There's been brothels, you name it, they've been used for different things. It's gone to media, mainstream. So you don't get touched, you show your skin, there's always an audience. But OnlyFans is not just for nudity.
Okay, so that's kind of where I figured your perspective would come from, which we'll get more into deeper as well. So, what do you think of sex work in general? You said a little bit about your perspective there, but so sex work to you. Let me just try to clarify what I think you said in that perspective. It's like for kind of equality, it's kind of more of freedom. It's more freeing. Like girls should be able to do this. They should be able to do that. Is that pretty much what you say accurate, or
So when it comes to sex work, discussing OnlyFans, correct?
we could do either, or we could start with just OnlyFans. Sure.
Okay, yeah. When it comes to OnlyFans, sex work, it's it's up to them. It's their body. They're aware of, what they're putting out there. And I wouldn't really call it sex work, really. It's just providing content for the correct audience. That's all it is. Because you can be posting pictures of your feet, and next thing you know, you're making lots of money. So, yeah, being able to be free, do what you want to do to make your money. Because at the end of the day, nobody else is paying your bills but you. And especially nowadays, with the pandemic happening, it's becoming more and more popular because that is a big way of making money. Um, I used to bartend at strip clubs, so I had majority of my strippers who do OnlyFans when this pandemic just went up. So to be honest, I have a lot of old managers who are complaining, "Oh, you should have been doing this," but I don't understand their point of view because it's safer. They are getting their own audience going on. They're not getting touched by no one. they're controlling their pictures, how what they want to expose. They can even do implied nudity, don't show anything at all, and they'll still make a good amount of money. And that shouldn't be looked down on because at the end of the day, it's their life, you know,
Hmm.
and nobody
The thing,
else's.
the thing that I'm seeing with that is, I have seen a lot of people kind of advocate for sex work in specific, like in general, kind of like anything that is under sex work, it shouldn't be looked down on. So not just OnlyFans, because it's not just like, yeah, we should only be able to do OnlyFans, but I've seen a lot of girls advocating for sex work. So in the girl's mind, do you think that that is specifically only in regards to like OnlyFans or Snapchat Premium, or do you think it's like even bigger things like actual prostitution? My idea, when I say see girls advocate for sex work, I think automatically like prostitution and pretty much everything under it. So with prostitution, like like on the street, and, in person, that's what my mind goes to as a man. But also, I've seen them trying to classify OnlyFans under that same umbrella. But I guess specifically when I think of sex work, I think of prostitution.
Right, right. So, would you consider the porn industry obviously sex work as well?
I would. That would fall under it, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So my thing is when it comes to sex work, to prostitution, if it's something that you chose to do and you're not being forced to do it, then again that's something that you choose to do. I know I'm going a little personal here, but my mother did it back in the country.
Mm,
Um, she did it because females couldn't get jobs back in, during her time in that country. So she did it to get money, and we used that money to escape to different countries. So to get out of Iran. So there's always a reason why someone decides to go that route. I never held that against my mother, may she rest in peace, because that's, she had to do what she had to do. I wasn't the person that was like, well, why don't you be a hairstylist, make the same amount of money? No, that wasn't the case. It was a different time, different issues. So when it comes to prostitution, as long as you're safe, then do what you gotta do. When it comes to OnlyFans, Snapchat Premium, you name it, I don't consider that sex work because you're not being touched. You're just providing content, whether that may be nudity or not. Yeah, and as for strippers, for example, I used to work at strip clubs. I met this amazing stripper. We're discussing females who do a little too much, provide a little bit more service to certain men. And she says something that stuck by me. And she said, well, how many times have you fucked a guy, one night stand, and you didn't come? And I'm like, okay, well, a lot. So she's like, well, how about you get paid for it instead? So she gave me a little insight on how she felt and what she was doing. So essentially, that stuck by me that why not get paid for the guys that you get with, essentially, because you're not going to come anyway. That was basically what her point was. So who am I to judge what you do with your own life? But when it comes to OnlyFans, Snapchat Premium, Patreon, I don't consider that sex work at all.
going back to prostitution, and like as you said, your mom, I'm against judging in that sense when it comes to like you don't know what people are going through in their life or why they may have done it. So I understand that was a very different and very unique situation. But when it comes to the average person here in America that does have a lot of choices, that does have a lot of, I don't have to resort to this, but I can do this, and I can still make a ton of money. I don't think prostitution should come to mind in a country like America. What do you think? Since we have more options here. Oh, and as for sex work too, it's I consider it sex work, especially as a man, because in the end you're still making guys ultimately come or orgasm for money. So it still falls under that thing, even if you think the average woman is that how she sees it. Like it's not sex work if you're doing OnlyFans because there's no physical contact there.
Well, okay, so one thing I like what you said was you're against judging when it comes to prostitution. So I like what you said because I agree with that 110%. I'm against judging as well. Is prostitution, for example, for me? Absolutely not. Am I going to judge others for it? No, absolutely not. But in America, you do have more options. So before coming to America, we were told that you need at least 2 to 3 jobs to make it even happen in America. When we got here, it is the land of opportunity, and there are lots of opportunities to go forward. When it comes to OnlyFans, you considering it sex work. So here's the thing. Do you remember how Patreon got started?
I do not.
Okay, so essentially, people, even newscasts, you name it, they went to Patreon. So people could subscribe, their fans could subscribe for different content regarding their shows. For example, Philly D. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Philly DeFranco. He's absolutely fantastic. He does news reports on YouTube, and he used to have a patron where he would provide more content regarding news on his channel, which was really, really cool. So a lot of cosplayers went to Patreon as well. Some of them decided to do some nudity, some decided not to. After a while, Patreon became a not so great to be on. So when OnlyFans opened up, it became easier to provide the same content, just picture form or video form for your fans. They can subscribe. So give you what they used to do on Patreon, but on OnlyFans. I'm all for that. And do I consider that sex work? Some people do nudity. Absolutely not.
Well, I think my thing is the intention. Like, if a girl is actually like posting her nude photos, obviously a guy is just not going to be them and like use them just for whatever, just a Christmas card or something. He's obviously going to be obviously going to be like
Hmm.
masturbating to those photos. So it's like that's what I mean. It's like, even if it's not physical, there's no whatever. There is a sense of intimacy, and I guess that is the appeal of OnlyFans, because a lot of girls, they do custom videos and they kind of cater. This is where I wanted to go with this. It's like they want to cater to the man's needs. A lot of the time, like girls will do custom videos. So if you want something, of course, the girl has a right or not to agree to it, but at the same time, it's still, you're catering to that man's needs, and it's kind of, this is my main problem that one of the main problems I have is I don't like the cognitive dissonance women have, where it used to be like, I don't want to be looked at for my body, for my whatever it is. I'm more than my body. I have a mind too, and now it's like, okay, well, I don't need to have all that. I want you to look at me for my body, because that's essentially what I'm selling right now. So, and it's like, view me as a sex object, but don't view me as a sex object when I don't want to be viewed as it. And it's kind of like, you can't really, like, they want to turn it on and off when they want to, and it's kind of the way that it's like the average mindset is, you are a sex object if you're doing that. Like, in sex objects, they don't have emotions, they don't have this, they don't have that. It's like, if you're a sex object to a man, you are there to kind of just give me pleasure, and that's it. Because essentially, that I think that's what OnlyFans. Even if the guys buy fetish content or whatever it is, it's still, that's what they're using it for. So it's just what happened. It's like, women don't want to be seen as a sex object, but then they do, and then they want to get paid for it as long as there's money involved. And like, what's your thinking on that?
So here's the thing, females don't want to be seen as sex objects when they're not in control of the situation. So if I'm having a job interview and I'm wearing a professional outfit, I do not want to be seen as a sex object. Instead, look at my resume and see if I qualify for this job, for this position. Now, when it comes to, obviously, certain content, certain online OnlyFans that's, catering to those men, would you consider that more business minded?
Do I consider that a business? No. This is the part that kind of annoys me a little bit, because I had actually a girl commented under the post that I made on Facebook about OnlyFans, what your idea is. And she was like, I'm an entrepreneur, and that's what I see. I'm like, oh, come on. Like, an entrepreneur in my mind is like, I have put so much hours and time in doing this and that. I've met with people, I've networked, I've, like, the amount of hard work it takes to build a business, for not because a business, like, there's a difference to me, being a business and being self-employed. When you're
Hmm.
self-employed, all you have to do is just think about yourself, and whatever brings you money. When you're an entrepreneur and you have a business, you're providing jobs for other people. So, for example, the person who owns OnlyFans, the whole website, he's an entrepreneur. He's created a platform for girls to be employees, essentially, to work for him. But these girls are self-employed. They're not business owners. They may have, when it comes to business, there's different. It's called the cash flow quadrant. And so what that is, it shows you the route that it takes from being an employee to being a self-employed, and then you go to a business owner or investor, one of those. But that's typically the route that people take from becoming an employee to working for themselves, and then if they want to create a business that you can hire the people. But it's, to me, like, it's kind of an insult, only just because it's like, I know the amount of work it takes into actually building a legit business. So I don't see girls as business owners or whatever. Self-employed, sure, but that was my own little perspective as a business person on that.
Okay, which is fair, completely understandable. So I have friends who have OnlyFans, obviously, who help other females to get their goals reached without showing any nudity. They are helping one another out to make money, essentially. Now, I personally think that OnlyFans is business, but putting Instagram alone, That is a business because you are essentially marketing yourself. And from that on, depending on how big of a market or how well you do and how many followers you get, whatever business you choose to go forward with, all those followers will help you out. Whether, for example, Twitch is, it's hard to get into Twitch. It's hard to maintain Twitch. And one of the big ways of becoming big on Twitch is by basically marketing yourself and everything that you do, whether that may be sex appeal, no sex appeal, dorkiness. I'm a big dork. You know this already. So I use my dorkiness mostly to get where I need to be. And going from there, say you need to make money. So you open OnlyFans and you transfer so many pictures that you've taken prior on there, and that helps you out. It's again, it's hard to maintain it because those subscribers can go in and out. They can subscribe one day, they can unsubscribe the next day, and depending on what you do with that money, you can help others.
Yeah, and that's something I also wanted to let girls know. It seems like they when they get that money, they just kind of spend it on like either the after their bills are paid, they spend it on they just blow it pretty much, and they have to keep doing OnlyFans, keep doing it. And what I wanted girls to see who do this is it may not be like a it would be okay. Technically, it is a business if you want it to be, but I would think of it more as a way to learn business skills. So, for example, like you said, selling yourself, selling your image, marketing, like through social media, through whatever it is, through your Snapchat, through your Instagram. It's all marketing. It's learning how to market, how to sell yourself, how to learn who your clients are, who your customers, how to deal with customers, customer service, how to manage your finances. So it's a good tool if girls are doing it to learn about how to manage a business if you were to because you could directly translate that if you wanted to get out of the OnlyFans and let's say you're good at tattoo artists or you're good at weightlifting. Um, it's a good tool for learning the business skills, and you get to create a business if you wanted to venture out into other things. But with that being said, why do you think it should be normalized?
Yeah, so why it should be normalized? It's the human body. We shouldn't be afraid of the human body. We shouldn't have to hide our human body. You shouldn't have to be afraid of wearing something because of what people might say. It's your life. Love your body for what you have. If you want to show it off, flaunt it, go for it. It's easier said than done, but yeah, why should you have to hide something that everybody has? I mean, take nipples for example. Why is it that men can show their nipple on Instagram, but if a female does it, uh-oh, gotta censor it. You know what I mean? The double standards. And here's the thing, we're talking about females on OnlyFans, but there are a lot of males on OnlyFans who show off their body. Sometimes they don't, who do work out, you name it, to give the females what they want. So why is it that that's not being looked down on, but it is if females do it?
See, I've heard this question a lot of times, and it used to bother me too because it was always well, you can do this, and then it's like a back and forth. Well, you can do this, I can't do this. You can do this, I can't do this. So as a man, there are certain things that I can't do. Like for example, one thing why I'll say why that happens is because we are judged to different standards. Like men are judged in a way that women will never have to experience. Like for example, the average man, he is judged off of what he can bring to the table, what resources he can bring, how much money he has, what car, what house, what this. If a woman isn't making that much money, like nobody, no guy really cares. Like, especially if she's attractive. Like a girl could be working at McDonald's or she could be a CEO. Like it doesn't really matter to us how much money she makes, as long as she's attractive for the most part. But I mean, that's the standard. Like the standard is women typically get judged more on their looks. We just have different worries. We have different, different things we think about on a day
Hmm.
to day basis. Like for example, I know one of women's fears is they fear getting assaulted or raped or anything in that sense. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, a female can wear a plastic bag walking downstairs, and she can still get assaulted and raped. As for money aspect, I can speak for myself personally. I honestly don't care how much a guy makes because that's not the important part. Nowadays in our society, it's harder to find someone that is honest with you from the start and is loyal from the start than anything else. And again, looks for me doesn't matter either. Again, I'm speaking this regarding myself, but I can see what you putting down. It is harder to. I guess majority of people might consider how much money you make and what you have a big factor to who you are.
Yeah, the average woman, I would say, looks at things like that, which is something good to look at. I would say
Yeah,
because
but yeah,
good.
going back to OnlyFans, but if you find a site where you control your audience, you control your clientele, you know damn well you are your own manager, you are your own boss, people will pay you regardless. Why not do it? You don't have to worry about anything else. No one touching you inappropriately. You not having to, walk on eggshells around people, defend yourself. You're safe. You're good. You know what I mean?
That actually goes back to the next, like one of my other things that I'm worried about is normalization. Because I have seen a lot of girls like where they just come out of high school, 18, 19, 20, 21. Because I do have friends of all ages, and they automatically get into OnlyFans, and it's kind of like what I typically see is it's girls who have like low self esteem or low self confidence, and then they start seeing other girls talk about OnlyFans or getting it, and they automatically see like people like commenting under, being like, especially the guys, obviously. Like, oh, you're so pretty, you're so cute, you're beautiful, you're hot, you're whatever. My thing is this: I feel like when a girl is 18, 19, 20, 21, because I know when I was that age, I still had like confidence issues and I wasn't sure of myself. So if there was something that I felt gave me confidence, it would probably become like a drug to me. So I see these girls who
Hmm.
are that young, they'll get into this website and OnlyFans and do it, and that's where they get their validation from. That's where they get their confidence, which is a false sense of confidence. And I think that's why they become so defensive, along with the top thing of they think that, oh, a man just wants to control my body. He just wants to tell me what to do. He just wants to do that, which I don't think that's the case in today's time. It may have been, 20 years ago. They're not saying that doesn't exist, but I don't think it's to that extent that it used to be. Because the average man that I talk to now, their mindset is, I don't really care. Women, do you, whatever it is. I do hear often, like, I wouldn't want my wife to do that or my girlfriend to do that, but, if it's someone else, just do you. And so there's not like a whole controlling type attitude. So going back to those 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old girls, I don't think I think they should learn confidence before they do anything like that. That's why I think the age to do it should be 25 up. Not only that, one of my friends that commented on that post when I made the OnlyFans, she has said that she does everything like with a smart way. Like, for example, she doesn't post anything from her actual social media, like her page on Facebook, her page on Instagram. She uses a fake name. She uses fake this. She doesn't tag her location. She does like to where she can't be found. And I see a lot of these girls. They in that age. They use. They tag their location. They show where they're at. They use their real actual pages. They have their friends on there, and it's kind of like if certain creeps or certain guys who did want to get cause you harm, it's so easy to find you. And I think if girls are going to do that, for one, if they're that young, because that's my main problem, is there's two things. Is I don't think girls should be giving their confidence or validation, any type of validation. Because if you give someone the power to give you confidence, you also give them the power to take it away. So that's my main thing. I think you should be confident already before you do it. And if you decide to do it, then okay, cool. But then also, if you're going to do it in that young, then be safe about it. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've seen girls, like I said, use their actual social media pages and they're open about it and they go to Instagram and they hashtag every single thing that they can just to get more people to come in, and they're putting their location, they're this, they're that, and which goes to my next thing is the type of guys that do buy OnlyFans. Like, for example, I'm not gonna ever buy any girls OnlyFans, and any guy who I feel, in my opinion, is secure and confident, they're not gonna buy any girls OnlyFans either, because it's like in our mind, it's I can get girls already, and porn is free, so it's like why would I spend money, giving it to some girls so I can see boobs? It's like I can get girls easily. So it's like the guys I feel who are buying this type of stuff are typically usually the creeps or the older guys or the very young impressionable guys. That brings me back to it's like there's a lack of respect in my opinion for the guys that do buy OnlyFans, for the ones that do, because the ones that do they're usually can't get girls or women in my opinion, and these girls are starting to call them like simps and stuff like that, and it's like you've heard that term before, simps, right?
Yeah, I heard it the other day, but I still don't know what it means.
It's pretty much like a guy who puts a girl on a pedestal and he like caters to her,
Oh,
like
okay.
yeah, that type of stuff, and like okay,
So just fans?
yeah, pretty much, but it's like simpleton, like stupid, or like, oh, he's this guy's giving me money just for like a couple pictures. How they're kind of like looking down on him type
Well,
thing.
hold on. Question.
Yeah,
Did you ever pay a celebrity to take a picture with them?
did I? No.
Okay. Did you ever get excited when there was a celebrity and you want to take a picture with them?
Of course.
I've done that. Have you ever supported your favorite actors and actresses by paying to watch their movies?
Yes.
Now, said these actresses and actors had a site where you can subscribe to get content just for you. I do it, absolutely. I love Johnny Depp. Let me follow you everywhere you go. Keanu Reeves, absolutely. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, we can judge a civilian that's not a celebrity on their actions and what they choose to broadcast, for money.
Mm-hmm.
When we pay the same price or more for celebrities, they're just bigger. If I knew my favorite celebrity was making porn, I'm gonna pay that $50 to get that porn. Absolutely. So, like, I'll be honest with you. I'll be frank. We've all contributed to someone that we consider highly of, or if we're attracted to them when it comes to obviously celebrity, to support them in their career path.
But they also have more money, so they have a chance to be more safe. They have
Yeah,
security
but
around
how
them.
do they get that money? By doing what they've been doing. How many people have been spotted through OnlyFans, through Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
through Vine, through TikTok for their content, became celebrity status, through YouTube? A lot of them. Take Jake Paul, for example. That guy's a fucking douche, right?
Got it.
He's broken how many rules? He went, I'm pretty sure he's still banned from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So, but people still watch his stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
They support him, right?
Yeah.
So they're all, what you call them again? Simps, is it?
Yeah, that's what the
Does that
term
make
is,
sense?
but
Yeah, okay.
it's the focus of what they do. So, for example, when girls
Yeah,
who put their nudes out, it's like they're drawing a certain type of attention, a certain type of crowd to them. So, people who do
that
like
they
comedy,
want.
yeah, well,
Yeah, that they control. Yeah, absolutely. So at the end of the day, they are controlling that. They're not being forced to talk to a director who's going to hit on them or go next step with them to get into a movie. No. And let's be honest, that's becoming a hot topic nowadays, especially how many people have crossed the line, how many actresses have come forward and actors
mm-hmm.
regarding the actions that are occurring behind closed doors.
Right.
So now you have a site where you don't have to go through any of that. It's just you. So I guess going back to the topic of Sims, I guess I will be a sim to the celebrities that I follow. As to the people that I've subscribed to, my friends who have OnlyFans, I didn't subscribe to them just so I can see their nudes. No, absolutely not. Do they even have nudes? Not really. I subscribe knowing that, hey, they're low on money. I understand. I will support you. And I get that everything is destroyed. I got you. Do I even go on there? No, absolutely not. But guess what? I also subscribe to the people on Twitch. So I have my Twitch people that I, pay $5 a month for, who bust their ass playing video games.
Okay. And what do you think about what is your opinion on 18-year-olds through, let's say, 24 doing it? Yeah, like getting their validation and getting their whatever from it, even though it's, yeah.
Yeah, the confidence aspect. Yeah. So it's not, I wouldn't say validation. So every picture that I post on my Instagram, every video, I am not confident in them. Some of them I'm proud, but some of them I'm nervous. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like this. It's more so talking to other people, being told that, no, this is a cool picture. This is a good picture. You don't look too dorky. It's just discussing your biggest fears.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what you post on social media, online, especially when it's a picture of yourself, let's be honest, you're gonna be nervous. The critiques are they're gonna be there. So I think that
Mm-hmm.
when you become an adult, so 18 years old, right? In America it's 18, you should be able to post what you want to post. And whether that's building your confidence through social media, then go for it. Because nowadays that's all people are doing. It builds up your confidence regardless. As for 25, I don't think, no, you shouldn't be 25 to post what you want. But do you need to be smarter about it? Absolutely. Should you tag where you're at, your location? No, you shouldn't, unless you're working in a bar, you want people to come to you. I think definitely be smarter about it because there are definitely creepers out there, and that's nothing that needs to be looked past. But I didn't even know you can tag your location on OnlyFans until you said it. So I didn't know that was an option.
Oh no no. What I meant is Instagram. They'll tag their location, but then they'll also put like like let's say the whatever content they use for OnlyFans. Maybe they'll put it on Instagram and they'll tag their location
Oh,
on their
okay.
Instagram and they'll hashtag it out. And that's what I mean by that.
Is it for marketing purposes for the location?
Whatever it is, I don't know if girls specifically think about let me market it, or if they think like, I'm just gonna tag my location because that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, but what where I'm getting at is you don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. You know, for all I know, they could be tagging their location because the company is saying that, hey, tag our location so we can get traffic. You know what I mean? Because I've done that. I've tagged location on Instagram because of that purpose alone, or to show support of the location that I had a blast in. But mind you, this post was old. I'd already left that location. There are many reasons of why someone might be doing it, or they might do it because they're stupid. So stupidity does exist.
So,
But
what would you say to those girls and at that early age? Like, what is your criticisms of it, or what are your worries about, or if you have any worries about those 18 plus? Because I mean, right now it just seems like there's an attitude of yeah, just do what you want to do. Don't worry about anything else. Just you do you. That's all. But it's kind of like okay, but you have to think about consequences and think about this and think about something. Like no matter what I do, I'm still thinking about okay, if I do this, what are the bad sides? What are the things that I don't want to happen? Even as a man.
yeah,
So, are there any criticisms you have or anything you want to tell? Because I've never seen older women who are doing it talk to younger women and be like, "Hey, if you're gonna do it, maybe do this, maybe do that." It's kind of like they leave these young girls to go out and try to figure out everything on their own, and it just I feel like if you're gonna do it, more women should speak on, "Hey, maybe watch out for this, maybe do this, that type of thing."
yeah.
So what is your,
Opinion. So,
opinion?
question: why do you consider 18-year-olds as young girls and not adults?
Well, because when I was 18, I didn't know what I was doing. Like okay, so I study neuroscience, and they say
Hmm.
typically that the adult brain is like finished forming around 25, and I can
Hmm.
actually say like around 24, 25, 26, 27. That's when I didn't have to worry about confidence. That's when I was like I knew more about myself, who I was. I wasn't so influenced by outside pressure. Like you're still a teenager, come on, 18, 19, 20. You're still going out with drinking. You're still influenced by friends at that age. So you're more influenced by the world around you than you are like what's inside of you and building your own character, building yourself up. That's why I say young girls because I was a young guy, 18, 19, 20, still being influenced by the outside world. And I feel like the average person at that age is still being influenced by their friends, by the outside world.
Okay, going off of that, what do you think the responsibilities are for an 18-year-old compared to an average adult?
I think what it should be is that you should already know what you want to do in life. You should already have like I know that that's kind of an early time to say, but my thing is like parents should set their kids up to where they when they transition out of being a teenager to adulthood, they should already know what to do, where to go, what they want to do with their life. Like the parent helped them develop their skills and natural talents, and they were looking for those talents and helped brought it out of their child. Because the average 18, 19, 20-year-old that I know, especially me being as one, it seems like everybody that come out of the high school or even college, and they're like, okay, well, what the fuck do I do right now? I don't know what to do. So they get like an average job, and they're still like, they don't know about, how to grow money, how to, create their own businesses. Like, they're so uncertain when it comes to the actual real world. And so I think it's a part of failure on the parents' part. For the average person coming out at that age, I think their responsibility is to find out what you want to do with life. What really makes you happy. Like not just doing something for money, but like because you actually really want to do it and it makes you happy. To find fulfillment, to undo any problems and traumas you had in your past experiences, like from your upbringing, from your parents, or from the people you dated when you were a teenager, that may have left like some type of emotional damage in you. Like it's undoing all that crap from the past, so you can have a better future. It's you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Making yourself more secure, more confident, finding out more about yourself, and then doing what you love. And I'll say because the average parent didn't set them up, set their children up for success. That's why I said like the average person comes out of school and they just don't know what the fuck to do. That's the average
Yeah.
person, in my opinion.
So it is hard to find out what you want to do in life. I mean, look at me. I'm 30 years old and I still don't know what I want to do in my life. I mean,
Hmm.
I do, but I don't. So
Yeah.
it's harder. It's easy to find jobs, or I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to find jobs currently. Not gonna lie. It's easy to have that mindset in your head. Let me just get a job because you need to. You have to find a job regardless, whatever pays. We're all struggling here. Instead of a long-term business-minded, goal. It's hard to set that. I'd rather work at McDonald's knowing I'm gonna get $10 an hour than let me save up all my money to put in this business that might fail.
So before we go on to like the future term, when where OnlyFans could go, and once this whole coronavirus is over, and will it still be the explosion and growth that it has now, or will women move on, or will they just be like, I'm making more money doing this, well, let me just stay with this. So that's another topic I want to move on to, but just going back to because I didn't hear an answer to the 18 through 20. Like, so in your mind, it is a legal adult, so they're able to make their own informed, intelligent decisions, and there's nothing you would say to that crowd, that young
I mean,
girls.
by the time you're 18, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. By the time you're 18, you can vote. So in my mind, or at least my expectations of an 18-year-old is no different than a 25-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know what you're doing. And if you choose to tag your location in knowing the risks, then that's up to you. But you're an adult. I don't see them as kids. But the only advice that I would give an 18-year-old is just be cautious. Know what you're doing. Once it's on the internet, it will always stay on the internet. It's hard to delete something permanently. So just be cautious. And again, all these things are common sense. I don't see 18-year-olds as kids. And if they choose to act immaturely, then that's up to them. They'll learn things the hard way.
It reminds me of the porn star Mia Khalifa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when she got involved in porn when I think she was 20, 21, some like it was still that that early age group. And so now she's I
Hmm.
think 28, 27, somewhere around there, and she's older, and now
Hmm.
she's actually an advocate against what she did, because in her thing she's saying, I regret it. I wish I could take it back. So it's just kind of like it's on the internet forever, and it's kind of, once it's at that point, it's kind of like, I guess that was pretty much what you said. The main thing I wanted girls to see, which they may or may not know, maybe it should be common sense. Like, once it's on the internet, it's on forever. Just
Yeah.
yeah, just be smart. But that goes into the next topic of how, because I feel like it's impacted the dating culture a lot.
Hmm.
So, what do you think? How has it affected, or has it affected the dating culture? This OnlyFans and girls doing this, and
Yeah. So the dating culture is definitely affected the dating culture a bit. Is meeting someone that's okay with you having an OnlyFans and knowing your content. And again, that falls under you even wanting to expose that, depending on what kind of relationship you have. So if you're married and you have an OnlyFans, 9 out of 10, the husband or the wife knows about it. And they're helping you with it. So majority of people that I know who do OnlyFans who are a couple,
mhm,
they're doing it together.
mhm.
They're making that money together. So either the husband is taking the pictures or vice versa, helping with the videos as well. So
What about the singles?
yeah,
That's mainly what
the
I'm referring
singles,
to.
yeah. I know for a fact a lot of guys wanted to be like, I don't like you posting this because I want to be the only one that sees this.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, I get that. I understand that. But at the end of the day, what is she really posting? You know what I mean? Are you offended by the fact that she just posted a bikini picture? You know?
no, okay, okay. So let me put it more in context. So specifically, women that do nudes and make videos of them like fully naked and maybe doing sex acts with maybe even someone else at the time. Maybe so if a girl's doing sex acts in OnlyFans, and then a guy comes along and she's interested in them and he sees that, it's kind of like, wait, hold on, you're doing what? Like, and you're interested in me? Like, no, I'm good. So it's mainly, specifically, I'm talking about girls who do like full nudes and stuff, because it does turn off a lot of guys.
So the chances of her finding another guy is easy, and she can just disable her OnlyFans. Not a big problem. These are just first world problems, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't think that's a big factor. It wouldn't matter really.
I do, because I think it drives any guy who, because like I said, I've talked to, like, I feel like the average guy, when they find out a girl who, because okay, guys' main thing is attraction. Like, their girl's sexual appeal is one of the main things in the beginning, obviously, because we don't know anything about you, that draws a man to ask a girl out. Like, we're curious about you mainly sexually. Like, obviously, we in the back of our mind, like, sex is what we want. But if we see a girl as
Hmm.
OnlyFans, it's kind of like, well, you're kind of giving it out to everybody. Maybe not sex, but in our mind, that's how it works. It's like everybody's seeing your body. Like, there's nothing really mysterious. There's no mystery there. There's no nothing for me. It's like, I already know what you look like naked. So what is the point of me pursuing you? You could say like character and whatever else, sure, but it's like at initial attraction. The way I like to relate it is like this. So how do girls, the average girl, think about if a guy, he's known for giving his emotions out to any girl that he comes across, like automatically, like, he's just like, oh, I love you, I want to be with you, I want to whatever. He goes to the next girl, I love you, I want to be with you. Oh, next girl, I love you. And it's like he gives out his emotions to every girl he meets. Like girls have zero respect for that. They don't want to be with a guy like that. What do you think?
Yeah, because he's just playing the game.
No, I mean like guys. Okay, let's
Because
say guys who legit feel like they love the girl that they're with even after a day or after a week. You know, they just met him and they're like, I love you or whatever. It's like he's giving his emotions out without like any type of work being put in, any type of whatever. So it's do you get what I'm saying or no? I'm saying there are certain things that
no.
no. Okay, go. Okay, go ahead. What do you mean to be?
Explain.
Okay. So I don't know what the exact percentage is, but I feel like obviously majority of the time it's the guy coming up to the girl. Like it's very rare for
Hmm.
girls to come up to guys. Like even when they do, it's like they still don't know what to say. Girls don't really know how to flirt. If they were to like legit approach a guy, and because I've had girls approach me, and it's funny some of the things that they'll say and they think that are flirting. So my whole point, I guess, what I'm trying to say is the average guy feels if you're giving out something that I want to everybody else, it's not special anymore. There's nothing. I don't feel like I have to put in work to get something because you're giving what I want out to everybody else. So what is the point of me even pursuing you at this point? Everybody has seen you naked. Everybody can see you naked. It's like it just
Yeah. No, no, I see what you're putting down.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's in that case, then they don't have to pursue them anymore. You know what I mean? That really falls under on the female, how much she cares about the guy or the girl. She could be lesbian, bi, whatever she chooses. At the end of the day, it depends on her. See how much she cares for this person and whether she wants to disable her OnlyFans. She can. Yeah, that's really it. Really, when it comes to that.
Just a couple more things too, because I've seen this happen several times before, and I've even asked girls when they think about even doing OnlyFans or when they first started. It's like, why is it that the majority of the girls that I've asked, mainly the younger ones, I said, did you feel like, because this was my opinion before I even asked, because I wanted to learn. I said, I think girls inherently know they shouldn't be doing that, and in the back of their mind or something, because they start thinking like, well, what about this? What if I do this? Am I going to be judged for this? Am I going to be that? It's kind of like they have to tell themselves something, or they have to fight with the part of themselves in order to compromise, in order to do it. Like for example, I know one girl who was like, I'm doing it because the body is an art and the art form, and that's how I see it. And it's kind of like I feel like girls have to
It
tell
is.
themselves something in the beginning in order to do it, to compromise themselves to do it.
No, here's the thing though. In the beginning in time, females were told what? To cover themselves up, right? Growing up, knowing that you're supposed to cover yourselves at all times and realizing that, this is my body. I love my body. I want to show it off. And then people perceiving that as, oh no, you're just a whore. It's like, no, like I'm just proud of my body. I think it's beautiful. So I agree with your friend. The human body is art. It's absolutely stunning. I'm not going to lie. That's why I love taking photos and just doing photography, just seeing how the light bounces off a human body. It's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. So, yeah, females at times they do have to tell themselves something because they have to make themselves confident for them to post whatever they want. And at the end of the day, it's still going to get looked bad at because of what they post. Even if no one subscribes and they don't even know what they're posting, people just assume. And that's the sad part.
Okay, so then that leads me to this question because there's a lot of expectations women. I feel like women have of men. It's like men should do this, men should do that. Like men should, have
Mhm.
some. It's just something. There's a lot of times I've seen so much on social media. Like a real man does this, or they're trying to tell a man like what masculinity is, or whatever else, and that annoys the fuck out of me because I'm never going to tell a woman how she feels as a woman, or how she thinks as a woman, or how she should view things as a woman.
Mhm.
Like if I started telling women like like if they got pregnant and I'm there like, okay, this is what you're gonna feel when you get pregnant. You're gonna feel the pressure. And it's like, dude, shut up. Like I have no right to tell the woman. But my thing is, there's so many women I see trying to tell the man like he needs to be be more emotional. He needs to be this, and it's like there may be certain problems that men have, but it's like they can't really understand why men are that way. That they just my thing is, if a girl is talking about her experience, about all I can do is listen, and then from
Mhm.
the girls that I've listened to, I can tell them if I'm trying to help a girl out, I would say, look, I've talked to other girls. This is what I've learned from them. Maybe this might help you. Or I can only give information in regards to how I view things as a man when it comes to a woman, or things like that. But I'm
Mhm.
not going to tell women how to be a woman or whatever it is. So this is one question I wanted to ask: is what does being a woman really mean now? Because every time I see this, like girls are hesitant to answer, or they'll be like, "Well, it just means you should do whatever you want to do," and it's kind of like, okay, how can you expect so many things of men and what they should do and what their behavior is and everything, but you don't want to put new standards for yourself and what a woman is.
Yeah.
You,
So going off of that, there should not be any gender roles to begin with.
yeah,
I
think there's
think
a
that
reason for
males
gender roles.
do have it hard. Yeah, don't think there should be gender roles, period. I mean, we believe in equality, so there should be equality. You know, expect the same thing that you would expect out of a man, out of a woman. You know, that's where the line draws. So I do believe that there are men who have it hard because you guys are basically told to hide your emotions, don't discuss anything that will show fear. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're basically looked at, excuse my language, like a bitch,
Mm-hmm.
which I disagree with that 110%. I think that's wrong. I think any male should be able to discuss their biggest fears, their, what makes them sad. It's okay to cry. You know what I mean?
Well,
They're told to be more masculine and tough, and that's easier said than done.
can I tell you
As
why that happens
for
though?
what's that?
Can I tell you why that happens though? Like typically,
Yeah, go
okay,
ahead.
it's a few different things. It's probably like three. It could be from their father. That's
Hmm.
one third of the thing. I think the second thing is from girls themselves. For example, my thing was I have no problem talking. I've never had any problem talking to my guy friends. If I need to talk to them, there's a way that men talk to other men. It's not like girls expect guys to communicate in the way that girls communicate, and that's not the way that we do it. Like I don't go up to my guy friends and I don't tell them about my day, and I don't tell them, man, like I just feel like we're not connecting anymore. Like you and I, we're just on different page. Like I don't talk like that. Like my thing is, man, I had a fucked up day today, and then that's probably about it. We're so vague about things, but I've never felt like I couldn't talk to one of my guy friends about problems that bother me. But I have always felt like I couldn't talk about certain things to the girls that dating, and this isn't just me. I know a lot of the guys who felt like when they start being emotional and like showing emotions to the girl, like the girl starts pulling away. She starts pulling back. Like this goes back to the whole like good guy, bad guy type thing. Like um, girls typically go towards that guy who doesn't really show their emotions, who plays games with them, and they stay hooked on that. Especially the immature girl. So it's like
Hmm.
every time I try to show like things that bothered me to a girl, or even opened up like emotionally to a girl, like especially back then, she would always pull back, and then eventually, the more I started doing it, the more turned off she would get, and then she would leave, like end up leaving that relationship and go for the guy who really doesn't give a fuck or doesn't show his emotions, or it's like it's that inconsistency I was saying earlier. It's like women want this, but then they want to be able to do this. They want to be able to turn it off when they want to. They want it's kind of like women will say they want this type of guy, but then their past dating record has always shown, okay, you're only dating fucking douchebags and this, so obviously you don't want what you're saying that you want. But I mean,
Yeah.
that was the second thing.
So
It was other women
yeah,
that created that. Like, I feel like I can't talk to women and be open with women because they're not attracted to that type of shit.
yeah. See, that goes for the people that you surround yourself with. See, as for me, I want someone to open up to me like that as a male, because I know it's the hardest thing ever. Hiding your emotions, it's easy. It's so easy to do. But being honest about your emotions and opening up about your biggest fears, that shows me personally that really do. That shows me that there's more to you than the mask that you put on social media and around your friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting to know the real you, and that's a privilege. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I wish more girls
Then again, I'm
thought like that.
yeah, because it's important. It's a big deal, and especially with social media, you can guys have a hard time even expressing that they're depressed because it's basically frowned upon.
No,
And to me,
I'll
and I'm
tell you
like,
why. It's
hold
like
up.
no one gives a fuck. Like that's how a lot of guys feel. Like nobody gives a fuck about how guys really feel. Like if even if some guy put like he was raped or something, like we're just kind of like, it's not really. And like from what I've seen from a bunch of guys, a bunch of men, it's just like the way that we feel, the way that whatever. Or what happens a lot
Hmm.
of times is that a man will say something and then about how he feels, and then someone else will try to tell him how he feels, or some woman will be like, "Oh yeah, well women have to deal with this," or just something like that. And it's just, but maybe that's just
They
social
make
media
it get
in
into a
general.
battle.
Yeah, or maybe that's just
Yeah,
social media in general. It's just because it's social media has always just become so toxic, especially the more time goes on.
it does. Social media definitely becomes more toxic. Absolutely, I agree with that. And the lack of people caring, I agree with that too. A lot of people don't care,
Mhm.
but
Yep.
they simply do not understand that it's harder for males to open up. It's a big deal when they do. Take it seriously. So, like I said, I might be weird and different. I don't know, but it's just who I am. Then again, I've always been attracted to the mind. If I'm attracted to you mentally, then I love, I love you basically. Like I'm in love. Period. End all be all. Um, looks have never bothered me. Money never did anything for me. I never cared for it. Whenever I go on dates, I will pay. Like I will take the tab. I'm like, no, I got this. I'm gonna pay this time. So a lot of things that girls expect of guys, I don't. So I don't see a connection with those females that you described, if that makes sense. Um,
But you know the mindset of the average girl, or no?
yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
yeah,
Which is sad. It's
yeah. That's
depressing.
that's
They
what I'm
obviously,
referring
yeah,
to. Yeah. So not specifically you,
yeah,
but speaking for the average girl in general.
yeah. But nowadays, what I know the biggest thing that females want and seek is honesty. The females are getting played left and right. It's hard to take someone who's trying to be genuine about their feelings for you seriously, because it's like you're telling everybody else the same thing. Or you see it on social media. It's like you told me that you like me, but you go on somebody else's post telling them that you love them, you want to be with them. So it's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's easy to spit the same game as a male and play the game. You know what I mean? So when a guy does open up, it makes a big deal. It's like, I know you're not doing this to everybody else. I know you're just opening up. That's very important.
Mm.
But yeah.
I suppose that's the shift in the dynamic of the relationship patterns now. It's how it used to be to how it is now. I guess social media changed that, Tinder changed that. Kind of, that's what going back to my OnlyFans. I feel like it's changed it because it's like everything is just so more about like quick, easy. Like there's no taking the time to actually build things because that's what a relationship really is. It's two people working together to build something in a way that benefits them both, that makes them happy because they feel happy with each other. But social media, Tinder, all these, even OnlyFans, in my opinion, is it's giving the attitude of to guys especially like, okay, well, if I want a girl, then I just pay for her OnlyFans, or I'll just whatever. I don't have to build a relationship with you. I don't have to do nothing. Here's my money. Give me what I want. Let me move on to the next thing and not think about you ever again. It's like everything is just about
Mm-hmm.
it's like the level of connection, intimacy, and just everything has just been so cheapened and watered down, especially with our generation. I like the
Mm-hmm.
I don't see many successful, happy relationships anymore.
Yeah, it has been watered down. But I'll be honest with you. Me seeing someone's OnlyFans being fully nude
Hmm.
does is not the same thing for me as being touched by a human being. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in the woman's
So
perspective.
even if they may pay them for the time being, they still seek that intimacy with them, regardless. You know?
Hmm.
So it has been watered down. Part of it has been watered down and has cheapened the aspect of it, of, nudity just a bit. But it depends on how you look at it, really. But how do you feel about guys doing OnlyFans?
Okay, being completely unfiltered, I don't give a fuck because, like I said, there are different things that men and women worry about. Like it brought me back to the girls worrying about rape and assault. As a man, I've never had to worry about that. I don't worry about that type of stuff. Maybe I'll worry about getting killed if I walk down the street at like 12 or 2 in a bad neighborhood or something. Or it's like I don't deliberately put myself in positions to where I can maybe be harmed, but
Hmm.
I don't worry about, I mean, guys, we're going to be fine on OnlyFans. Like, and plus, it's like if a guy told me that, for one, it's like I don't think of him. Do women feel they should be extra respected if they do OnlyFans, or do they? Well, what is it with respect and women when they do OnlyFans? How do they think men should view them as?
What do you mean? Like they want? I don't think respect. Well, I can't speak for them, but I don't think respect is comes to mind, or at least respect what they're doing and don't talk down on them when you're not a subscriber to begin with or see their content. You know what I mean? Don't categorize all females that do OnlyFans as doing sex work, showing full nudity when they clearly don't. You know?
Yeah.
But going back to my question, how do you feel about guys doing OnlyFans?
Honestly, if a guy, because I do know a couple guys that do that, and I'm like, I'm like,
Mhm.
what are you doing? Like, I just see it as a joke. I'm like, as a guy, because it's a different dynamic, definitely, but I still don't think of it like, oh, you're empowered or you're being free and showing your body off. I'm like, dude, what do you? It's like if someone says there's a male stripper, I'm not gonna laugh at them, but I'll be like, it's kind of funny to me as a guy, like not in the sense of like looking down, but like I don't know. I just think of like Chippendales or like the funny movies and stuff. That's how I see it. Like, oh, that's all right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Well, what about this? Say you're working for the club, you promote clubs, right? Opening an OnlyFans for that, posting pictures and videos of the club that you're promoting, females, males having fun, a blast, bottles, and people subscribe to that. How do you feel about that?
Well, the thing about that is OnlyFans is actually a competitor of like strip clubs and those type of businesses because, like you said, women would rather be like, well, I can just make my own money. I don't have to listen to my manager shit. I can do whatever I want to. I can, it's my own rules, my own thing. I don't have to fucking even get up and go to a job if I don't want to go. So it's like automatically
Yeah.
OnlyFans is the competition. So I would try to make my business as more like to where they want to come to work instead of doing OnlyFans. They,
Is it competition though instead of
yeah, like,
promoting?
like,
See, I don't consider competition. I consider it as it's a promoting
mhm,
yourself. So when you do an in-show performance, which is going to the strip club,
mhm.
you get a bigger following.
Okay, it's like
So the club will essentially pay you to come to the club and basically be there.
okay, if you already have a following, then that's different. But if you're a girl who just
Okay.
comes into the business, strip clubs and whatever, and she doesn't have OnlyFans, but then she decides to do it, that's a completely different dynamic. So I can understand the aspect of a girl already having a following, like a massive following, and coming to a place. But I can see that perfect, good business move. But if a girl does the opposite, if she goes into a strip club, doesn't have a following, and then creates OnlyFans, it'll probably end up being her leaving. But I mean, honestly, like if a girl already has a following and she's making a ton of money, why would she go to the strip club anyway if she could just do it from home and whatever?
Because the club will pay you to do an appearance like we do for celebrities.
So it'll be like only on her terms though, still, correct? Like
Depends on the contract.
would she be working like full term in it or like
I don't know. It depends on the contract. But we do the same things with celebrities. We pay them to come to our clubs, right?
yeah?
Why would they even do that when they're already making bank on their careers? But they do. Because it
Okay,
makes the club look good that we wouldn't have them.
all right.
It's all business. That's all it is.
So I agree with that perspective, but only in the sense of if she already has a following, then I can completely 100% understand.
Yeah, you can also build your following.
Hmm.
It's all in a day's work, building followers. So when you show up to a location, everybody shows up, just like any YouTuber does. They have their following, or they build the followers, and they do appearances.
Okay, so just a couple more questions I have, and then I'll let
Yeah.
you see if you have anything else. But it goes back to kind of what is. I know you said there's no. You don't think there should be gender roles, which I do disagree with. Because we are built differently, our minds work differently, we worry about different things, we're judged differently. Like, while I don't think anybody should be judged for most things, um, I do think if you want to progress in life, and you have to play the game, you know, and then that's my mind as a man. Like, if I'm working for a business, I mean, for a company, if I'm working as an employee, I can't just do whatever I want to. If I'm in a relationship with someone I care about, I can't just do whatever I want to. Like, there are standards, there are things I have to do, things I have to adjust my behavior. Um,
Mhm.
I mean, sometimes it's for the better, sometimes it's for the worse, sometimes you end up regretting changing. But um, it goes back to that question, like, so what do you think women should expect from themselves now, or what standards should women have for themselves? And what I mean is, I'll say this: as a man, I think he should be hardworking, whether that's in the business or whether that's just whatever it is. I think he should work. I think he should aspire to be better than the person he was yesterday. I think he should keep growing. Like this, the average person is everybody. I think everybody should grow. But for a man, I think he should. I like the traditional terms. Like I think he should respect a woman. I think he should, even pay for her. What do you think? What standards should women have for themselves, if any?
Yeah. So I
Like for
mean, the
their
same
own
things
good.
that
For
you
their own good.
for the what?
For their own good.
For their own good. So the same things that you said for men applies to females. Again, I don't believe in gender roles.
Hmm.
Because even if you're going into a relationship, you're automatically should be equals, and you should know that the guy should not be obligated to pay for a meal every time you go out, because he could be having a hard time too. It should be both ways. Respect one another. You know what I mean? That's where respect comes in. I will pay for you because you paid for me last time. It's an equal partnership. So going forward for females, what they should have for themselves is basically strive to be better. Learn, compromise with your partner. If you get with someone and you are with them, then it's not just about you anymore. It's about both of you. So if you're doing something that upsets your partner to a max, then think about it or come to a compromise instead of going my way or the highway. They need to learn how to compromise. And that goes for males too. They need to know how to compromise. So it fits both parties. So you can continue with the relationship going forward. But I think education is a big factor. So always educate yourself so females could educate themselves and so they can progress and obviously be hardworking so they can provide for themselves. So if something were to go wrong, you are your own backup, regardless of how you may do that.
And do you have any questions?
Okay. Do you think that OnlyFans could be used as a business strategy?
It can, but I would think that would be very okay. So OnlyFans in regards to like women posting like their nudes and stuff, or what?
Nope, just OnlyFans, period. Because at this point, we don't know what they're posting because we're not subscribed to their channels. So
Right. So
just
that's what I want to make.
OnlyFans, period.
That's what I want to make clear.
Yeah.
So it can be, but I guess it just depends on the industry. Like everything really can be used as a business strategy if you know how to apply it to the right, especially to the right industry. So for example, yeah, like I'm not gonna care about what somebody does on their OnlyFans if it doesn't really have anything to do with my business or what I'm trying to do. Yeah, even if they have a following sometimes, because like if your following, I feel like doesn't like the people that follow you or your clients or whatever it is, if they're not who I would want for my business, obviously like I'm not going to be trying to get a bunch of women who post nudes to come to like some Christian type of meeting or something like that. It has to be knowing your clients and knowing the industry. So it definitely can be used, especially like if you're posting like lessons on how to do this or artwork or something like that. Then yeah, but it just has to be applied in the right way. Like you can't use one strategy for every single type of business.
So knowing that there are people who do that, who do post stuff on their OnlyFans for working out, you name it, for their businesses. Now, how do you feel that majority of people only associate OnlyFans with nudity and nothing more?
Everybody, just about everybody. I feel like girls will make excuses because I feel like the girls making excuses are the ones who actually post the nudity and stuff like that. They'll be like, "Well, it's not just for that; it's for this and that." And it's like, "Well, are you doing nudes?" And like, "Yeah, but it's not just for that though." But when a guy's mind, when a girl says she has OnlyFans, our mind 100% goes, to, "Okay, she's posting nude photos or something like that." So I feel like OnlyFans is associated with, because to be honest, in your mind, what is the percentage of girls doing it that are posting some type of like less skin or I mean less just showing more skin or showing more body or sexual acts or whatever it is. I would say it's a large amount of OnlyFans, like girls doing it.
See, when OnlyFans began, majority of cosplayers were doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and they were just showcasing because there was another way of to do Patreon except easier and better.
Mm-hmm.
So it was another way of showing different cosplays that they have. And yeah, some of them were showing skin, some of them were not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, and then it turned into something bigger than it is now. But I think it's irritating that people associate OnlyFans with nudity because it's like it's more than that. This is what you know. This is the only thing that you know currently, but it's OnlyFans is more than that. The clientele that it has is more than just girls and males, posting nudes of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It goes deeper than that. It's showing different content of your Twitch, for example, showing different content of the cosplays that you're making that nobody else can see.
So I feel like you
And
have more of an insider opinion because you are a cosplayer, because you do things, Twitch and stuff like that. So I feel like because you're more of an inside person, you're using that as a like you're the insider type person. So you see what's the full aspect of whatever it is. I guess so. For everybody on the outside who isn't doing OnlyFans, can you see why OnlyFans would be associated with women taking off their clothes from the outside perspective?
Supply and demand.
I mean, can you see why it's got that name for, like automatically?
Yeah,
Yeah, so you can see why.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah. Supply and demand.
Mhm.
So not subscribing to someone from an outsider perspective and seeing an OnlyFans and a female's posting that got an OnlyFans, the first thing in anyone's mind is going to be, oh, nudity.
Yeah.
Why else would I have to pay $5 a month to see what she's posting? Because OnlyFans, you can only post pictures and videos. That's it.
Hmm.
I think you can do live. I'm not quite sure. I don't know about that one yet. But yeah, pictures and videos. So first thought in anyone's mind is going to be, oh, she's fully nude. That's all it is. She's showing sexual stuff. You know, why is it hidden? Why can't I just see like all her other stuff? Little do they know, it's actually more than that. It's not just nudity. But I can see why outsiders would perceive it that way. Because again, people didn't even know about OnlyFans until like a couple months ago, and OnlyFans has been around for a couple years now.
Right.
I think I started my OnlyFans like sometime last year, way last year, and it was just a picture of my yeah cosplay. Yeah,
Hmm.
had a mask on.
I'll say the last thing is probably I'm just worried about the effects like long term because ultimately, especially the girls that do post nudes and they're open about it and everything, it really does encourage men to just continue to view them as sex objects. And it's kind of like if that's how you want to be viewed, like then okay, but there's like I said, there's no really respect there. It's just kind of like you're just this, you're there to provide this for me. That's it. I don't have to, nothing. There's no, which I think does affect dating, which I do think does affect like communication in general, especially the more women that do it. So I guess long term, what do you think the effects are? Do you think? Because I mean, if women do it just for freedom or just for that, whatever they want to tell themselves to do it, but I mean, guys are going to feel, we live in a country where there's just as many girls as there are guys, so it's going to have impact on guys. And I don't think that impact should be, let me just continue viewing you as just a sex object. So, what do you think the
Mm.
long term effects are?
So if this was years ago, then I would have been agreeing with you that males are losing respect for females who post nude on OnlyFans.
Hmm.
But looking at society now, I don't agree with that personally. Um, because look at our society now. The people that are showing sex appeal are the most respected people.
I don't think
Am I
respect.
wrong?
No, I don't think respected. I just think they're the most well known. Like, what comes to mind is like, okay, when girls do like, let's say they're a musician, but they start their
Mm-hmm.
YouTube platform or whatever it is, and they start automatically posting like pictures showing a lot of their body off. It's like the average guy's mind. It goes to like you're showing your body, you know what you're doing, and you're trying to build your. Because a lot of girls they do try to use their sex appeal to build up whatever it is they're doing, whether they're trying to play an instrument or whether they're doing artwork or I've even seen like cooking and a girl is like half naked. And it's like you know what you're doing, but at that same time, like it used to bother me because girls, and this is like the double standard thing, which is fine. I get it now and I'm okay with it. But um, girls can easily build a platform just by showing their body, or guys have to put so much work into everything that they do to build, that same type of audience. But the trade off is if a girl's like doing a cooking show and she's half naked, like nobody's paying attention. Like let's say she's legit interested in cooking, but she's using her sex appeal to build up a platform for her, her cooking or whatever she's doing. It's like people like the average, especially the average guy, we're not looking at your cooking skills. We're not looking at what you're doing or whatever it is. We're looking, our mind just goes straight to your body. That's the typical average male mind. So if you want to build an actual platform with people who care about you, like for example the female Instagram influencers, because I hate hearing that because there's no message that these a lot of these female influencers have besides they're just trying to post pictures and maybe like it's themselves in different like not even different outfits, just it's just pictures of themselves. There's no message to be heard. There's no whatever, but it's just because they're cute and they get a following. But it's like, what are you doing with that following? Where do you want them to go? What is your message? What do you know what I mean? So it's like don't cheat if you have
Yeah,
if you
but
if you have an
did they
actual
sign up to be a female influencer, or did they just open an Instagram account, post pictures of themselves, and be labeled a female influencer?
probably that But then they,
So nowadays, I think females are being labeled as influencers when they didn't even want to be. They didn't even label themselves to be. And they're being held to a higher standard just because they got a following, you know? And all they've done is post pictures of the cute outfits that they love themselves on a daily basis. Was it their fault that they built a following? Absolutely not. But did they work towards that at least? Yeah, for sure. Did they use those following for different companies or business ventures they're part of? Yeah, most likely, absolutely. Yeah, I think nowadays it's just us ourselves who labeling them something that they didn't even want to be. Like take for example the music video that Cardi B did, right? The WAP was it?
um, I can't even say, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of Cardi B.
Yeah, WAP, WAP, right?
Yeah.
And it's getting so much hate for it because of they're talking about female sexuality.
Hmm.
It's nothing but female sexuality, what females like. And it's interesting that it's getting so much hate when you have rap songs and rap music videos, hip hop, who talk about selling drugs, shooting people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being gangsters. But that's cool, right? That's really, really cool. And nobody knows the words to those songs. Them playing females, having lots of bitches and hoes, right? But here you have a music video that says we got hoes in the house, and it's just females talking about the female body and what they like in bed, and that's being frowned upon. Did they talk about killing anyone? No. And it's also interesting if you think about it. Why is the going off of female sexuality here for a second? Because I'm just curious. I want to ask you this: why is it that the female G spot a mystery? Why is it considered a mystery?
I guess to guys, it's always been like we don't really care about their, the average guy. They care more about their own sexual fulfillment rather than the woman's sexual fulfillment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That's the correct answer. Absolutely.
Hmm.
As long as they get to do what they want to do, they're good to go.
Hmm.
And the female will just, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But here you have a music video that talks about what females like, and it's frowned upon because it's the forbidden talk, you know. And they're labeling these females as influencers. They're like, how dare you do this when you know what type of example you set for all these kids, when realistically they didn't. It's not a role that they chose. It falls on the parents. Don't let your kids watch this music video. So we people have labeled Cardi B, Megan Stallion as influencers when realistically they're not, and they didn't want to be.
Pretty sure they know now, though. There's no way they can't know. Like, hey, my music has influence on the average person who listens to it. They have to
Yeah,
know
but
that.
at the end of the day, they're still musicians. They're
Hmm.
gonna rap about the things they want to rap about. Same goes for guys. They're gonna continue rapping about shooting them up in the club, popping bottles on titties. You know what I mean? Doing cocaine on strippers' crack. But that's okay. That's fun, right? But they're considered influencers too.
Hmm.
But no one holds them accountable for their actions. No one goes, hey, this guy talked about legit killing someone. Did he actually kill someone? No. They
Hmm.
just let it slide.
So your main problem with it is that you feel like men could say more of certain things that women can't, or what is your main problem with it?
My main problem is that we're labeling these people as influencers when they're not to begin with, and that falls on ourselves. We expect them to do something with the amount of following and the money they're receiving when realistically they might have not asked for that position. You know what I mean? And it's their life. And the double standard goes high. Again, I'm gonna bring him up again. Jake Paul, again, complete douche. And
Hmm.
he's considered an influencer, and look what he did with his fame, or is still doing. So it really goes both ways.
Okay. Do you think there's a reason for double standards?
Yes, it's our society. I mean, it's going back years ago, it was okay for females had roles and guys had their own roles, and that's stuck. And we're a phase in our lives where we want to change what the past stood for to making it okay, making the human body a safe place. It shouldn't be hidden. Let the world know you have tits, because guess what? We all have tits. So why should you even have to hide it? But that's why I don't believe in gender roles. I think that if you stand for equality, then that's considered equality.
I don't know. I guess because I'm more of a traditional. Like I like the traditional, and what I mean by that is like I like the feeling. It satisfies me as a man. Like if I can pay for my family, if I can take care of my family, if I can protect my family, that gives me as a man fulfillment. That like especially like chivalry. I love the idea of like opening doors for women or whatever it is, something like that. But it's that is gone because it's like mainly it's one, it's not appreciated anymore. Two, it's kind of men are just so kind of confused in this time right now because it's like, well, if I'm nice, it's gonna take that as a form of sexism. If I open the door, she's gonna be like, well, because this does happen quite a bit. Women are like, I can do this for myself. I don't need you. It's kind of like, well, hold up, I'm just trying to be nice here. Like, it shouldn't be looked at as what you're trying. Like, there's no like I'm better than you. There's no whatever. Like, I'm legit doing this because I want to show you respect. It's just there's so many women that kind of just. That's what I mean. The dating culture is just so fucked up right now. I feel like men are confused. They don't know really what women want because what women want is really ultimately all over the place. And girls in today's generation, I feel like they feel like they should just be able to do whatever they want to, with no consequence, with no worrying about what men want. They're not thinking about what men want. They don't really care what men want. And it's just, why would anybody get into a relationship in today's time? It's just everything just seems so fucked up in that regards right now.
Yeah. See, females, I mean, I know what females want. They want a good, steady relationship to be with a guy that respects them and is honest with them
Hmm.
110% instead of playing the same game with any other female that they see. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And social media makes it that much easier for them to do. Yeah, it's not hard. But as for being able to take care of your family, being able to provide, I get that. But what if there was an easier way of doing it? What if all it required was a partnership to pay bills together and the money left over could be spent on vacations together?
Hmm.
Wouldn't that be better?
Yeah, no, that was the only like spot that I would change. Is like, yeah, I mean, men and women, especially when they get together in the beginning, like if they're like, hey, I want to be with you for a long time, so let's try to help bring each other up. Like that probably the only difference instead of
Mm-hmm.
like the stay at home type, girlfriend or mom or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
help bring each other up together. But traditionally, I still like that idea of opening doors, but that's gone. That's lost in today's generation. Like chivalry is completely, in my opinion, dead. So.
Yeah. See, and I respect that. I don't think so. I mean, I have guys who open doors for me, and it's nice. It's very nice. And then but I'm Persian though. Like I'm from Iran, where you also open doors for them,
Mhm.
and you have to push them through the door. It's just how it is. It's annoying. So, but it's a respect thing.
Yeah,
It's all falls under respect.
I think that's what women get it twisted because they try to think of it as like, oh, you're trying to prove that you're over me or something. It's kind of like, no, just calm down with the attitude, with the whole whatever. Just like take it for what it is. I'm opening the door because I want to be a gentleman and I want to show you respect. Like, but I can promise you, in the dating
Hmm.
scene, it's as a man, it's like I've actually been staying away from the dating scene a lot because of reasons like this.
I mean, I stopped the dating scene because it's annoying. And let's be honest, we're in a pandemic, so I'd rather just, take care of myself and just focus on my goals in life
Hmm.
and see where that leads me to. But the dating scene is whatever. It's not that important.
I guess, but I mean, obviously, we get into
Right.
relationships and we want to make them. We don't want to have a bad relationship. We want it to make it work. We want to be happy in that relationship. But I feel like people are doing things to make it that much harder to be in a happy, successful relationship. So I think this is
Yeah.
this is good to have talks like this, especially maybe some other time we'll get into another podcast, like dating
Yeah.
between men and women, like men's way of thinking, women's way of thinking, what we want from each other, and things like that. But is there anything else
Yeah, I
you
would like that.
yeah. Is there anything else you would like to add before we wrap this podcast up?
No, well, okay. OnlyFans is not just for nudes. And if you want to do it, you do it. Be proud of your body. Be confident in your body.
Hmm.
And hey, if you make that money, make that money. And if you want to do workout videos, go for it. Promote your club, go for it. No, thank you for having me on this show. I really, really like this. This was good. I got a different perspective on different issues.
All right.
So it was really good.
And that's all I really wanted to do with this was just show people from a different perspective, rather than obviously girls just hearing. I feel like girls really aren't hearing anything other than just do it if you want to, do it if you want to. But just not even that, just
Hmm.
maybe the man's way of thinking. So I thank you for coming on this episode with me and talking about these things. Other than that, that will be it for this episode. Thank you again, and yeah, take care, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.